Hey, what's going on, social media family? Michael Cabradia right here in San Diego, California, and we are continuing to read through this book, 100 Simple Secrets to Happy People. And why not, right? And I think this is going to be a good one. Typically, when I jump on these videos, I haven't read the chapter yet prior to jumping on the video, but judging by the title of this particular chapter, I think I'm going to like this one. So we are on video number 22, chapter number 22. Thing I love about this book specifically is that the chapters are less than 2 pages long. I typically read through the chapter, give some insight, maybe ask some questions. Would love to have you continue with our conversation, comment in the comments. Feel free to put down whatever it is that you think about when you watch this particular video in the comments. Continue with the dialogue and continue with the conversation. So chapter number 22, video number 22, pay attention. You may have what you want. We often forget to sit down and think about where we started versus where we are now. The human tendency is to always want more. A better approach is to remember where you started and appreciate how much you have already accomplished up until this point. So here's the story. Arthur was a hard-charging advertising executive, and after 3 promotions in 5 years, he was working longer hours than ever before. He had gotten closer and closer to the top, and he could almost taste it now. 6-day work weeks and long hours were not enough, so he brought work home with him. When he woke up in the recovery room after a triple bypass heart operation, he began to reassess his life. During 3 weeks of recovery, his family and best friends saw more of him than they had in decades. He cherished that time when he was recovering, right? Arthur's wife asked him if he really needed to work the schedule that he had. Did they actually need more money? Did he really need another promotion? Arthur challenged to actually think about his life, something he never took the time to do when he was actually working. And he realized he had more than he needed, and that the opportunity to reconnect with his family was the greatest gift he could be given. In research on highly educated professionals, almost half of the subjects could not become satisfied even as they accomplished their apparent goals because they did not recognize their accomplishments and instead created an irrational, negative image of themselves. Now, this is really, really interesting. It's kind of timely because, a couple of weeks ago, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and that friend of mine actually had an injury recently. And because that person had that injury, it took a couple months to recover from that injury. And it affected, business life. It affected different things in that particular individual's life. And he had to actually kind of focus on things that really matter versus focusing on this person's particular business. And during that period of time, priorities actually changed. And in a recent conversation with this particular individual, that individual asked me specifically about what my priorities were. And in that conversation, I realized personally that there were some business goals, some career goals that weren't necessarily my priority right this very moment, because I was really at this very moment focused on things outside of business, focused on things outside of those particular goals. And those things I wanted to focus on were my family, my wife, my kids, our health. And that was my priority right at that very moment. And I really had to take a step back and really just be thankful in that moment that God has given us everything that we need in this particular moment, and that I can focus on my family, focus on my kids, focus on our relationships, focus on our health. So let me ask you a question. Currently, right this very moment, because a lot of people say that they prioritize things in their life, but what is the number one priority in your life right now? And it's one thing to say it. It's a whole nother thing to actually live it out as to what your priorities are. So if you haven't done it in a while, really just sit down. Sit down even for a few minutes, a half an hour, maybe even an hour if you want to, or even just a few minutes right now, and just answer that question. What is the number one priority in your life? And a lot of people will say what their priorities are, but actually not live out what their priorities are and make their priorities an actual priority in their life. Right now, it's my faith. It definitely is my family. It's my wife. It's my kids. And, the recent trip that we took, it definitely reaffirmed that they are what my priority is right now. And I want to make sure that I continue to keep them a priority by putting them in my calendar, putting them into my planner, putting them into my daily routine. It's so interesting because, over the past couple of days, my daughter has been asking us to really just play some board games, including Monopoly. And we stopped what we were doing and we made that time with our family a priority. So in the comments, go ahead and feel free to share whatever thoughts you're thinking about right now, but answer this question also if you're able to. What is a priority in your life right now? And are you truly making that a priority? Or are you putting it on the back burner, pushing it off to the side when you should be making it a priority? So God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you on video number 23, which will be coming up soon. God bless. Take care.